Good morning, people. Am I the only one insane enough to be up at this time of morning? Am I? Okay, let's take a look here. Let's see if our chat is working. Hello, everyone. Do we have a working chat? Do we? I don't think so, not yet. Hold on a moment. Hold on. We may possibly in just a moment. Same thing here, loser list. I'm up for the funeral for the evening. Let me go ahead and see how I get this thing. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, that's what I was supposed to do. Yeah, where is it at now? Oops. There's supposed to be a way that I do this now. Now, how is it supposed to work? Okay, I see you guys over there. Hey, what's up, Nick? Morning, Dusty. I'm leaving to work in about an hour, but I'll hang out for about 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if the feed is working properly. Having my coffee. Yeah, I thought I wanted to see it live, so let me take a look here. Now, how did I get this going before? There it is. And then I'm supposed to do the properties. Sweet. Billy said, I'll hang out for about 30 minutes and go to bed. Awesome. Yes. Yeah, I just, this is actually, a last minute thing, because I was thinking I'm going to get up and watch it anyway. So I was like, okay, well, why don't I go ahead and watch it and go live and see what feeds are going to be on, actually. Excuse me. And so let me see what feeds are going to be on. So I know that USA Today is having a feed. I know some of the bigger channels like CNN and stuff like that. I know if you try and rebroadcast them, they'll let it do that thing where they'll try and give you the copyright thing. But some of these different ones I'm like working with here, these live feeds are kind of like, might be able to get away with it. I'm not 100% yet. Let me get a cup of coffee in me first. Then we'll see how we're doing. So Bell said, hey everyone, welcome to the group, Bell. Says hearts. So, Tameh. Paulina says, I've been dealing with serious insomnia issues lately, so I'm trying to return to normal sleep schedule. It's kind of hard. Hey, Nick. Bell said, is this the memorial funeral? I think the procession is starting around 5 a.m. in about 30 minutes. From what I understand, I think the funeral is going to be private. So I don't think they put any information out there about church or anything, because I think they don't want the fans there. But this is going to be, I guess, the fans' chance to say goodbyes when he goes to the streets of Birmingham. So I think this will be the chance. Now, the other thing I've been hearing is there's all kinds of different like rumors I've been hearing about that about his final resting place. I've heard rumors that Sharon has been talking about splitting ashes up. You know, family, kids having ashes. Some ashes being laid to rest in Birmingham in a crypt or somewhere where fans could visit. And then also, she was saying something about maybe, this is all speculation, pure speculation, that maybe there's a possibility that they'll end up having something here in LA for us too, somewhere in Hollywood. I think it'd be pretty awesome. He spent a lot of time here in Hollywood, where if we got a, an Ozzy statue where his ashes were like Hollywood Forever Cemetery, I think that'd be pretty cool. I heard Crazy Train 1988 when I was 13, became a fan. I must have heard Blizzard of Oz in like 83 or 82. It was years later I heard it. I remember I had a friend, his name was Buco Lopez. And I didn't even know what heavy metal music was, And I remember I was really into my music at the time. And he's like, oh, I don't listen to any of that crap. And I was like, what? He's all, no, I like heavy metal. And I was like, what the fuck is heavy metal? And he's like, oh, I like Ozzy and Def Leppard. It was like those bands back then, like Ozzy, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, stuff like that. And I was just kind of like, okay. And he played Blizzard of Oz for me. And it was like a transformational moment. It was transforming. No More Tears, my favorite song. Sweet. So 2XX. You talking about my pant size? My pant size about 10 years ago? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I really didn't pay attention to Ozzy until the Osbourne show happened. He gave us comedy gold. I love you both, I love you more than life itself, but you're all fucking mad. The thing that I always found was crazy was that at the end of the Osbournes, they played that little trick where they try to like give you this whole thing where it was like it was all fake, like the whole thing had been fake the whole time. They tried to do like a little plot twist, but it wasn't true. It was all real. It was all real. It was all real. Hey, what is happening, Mason? How are you doing? How are you doing? Oops. This program's kind of funky. I'm doing a total OBS program here, doing everything by hand. Let me do a thing here, make sure that we're doing okay. See that I'm getting some good signal, so. Hold on a moment, you might end up hearing us. Okay, let's see if I can get Let me do a thing here, make sure that we're doing okay. See that I'm getting some good signal, so. Okay. Try to make sure everybody can hear my dumb mug. I guess everybody can hear me. Maybe a little bit less volume on the crowd here. Said, aloha, Mason. Name one person that hasn't heard about Ozzy dying. I know, tell me about it, right, Tommy? Go, I'll wait. I don't think anyone hasn't. I mean, people that were like not even into his music, that, I think he's just playing an icon. I mean, even if people weren't into his music, they knew who he was. He was a household name. So yeah, it's one of those things. Your friend sounds like the way I was towards Ozzy and Def Leppard when I was listening to Venom. Now, see, that was my cousin. I had a cousin, Christina. She was really, really into like Venom and some of the darker shit, Yes, this is actually a live feed from Birmingham. Yeah. I don't know if this is the same feed because they had a feed that was actually supposed to be at the Black Sabbath Bridge, and they had this thing where you had to go and you had to register your email and all this different stuff. And I think that's the one that's actually sitting in Birmingham, but I really don't think that they had too much going on. I think it was just like maybe a single solitary cam. I don't know if this was a single solitary cam. What I'm going to do probably sometime during this, I'm going to switch over to USA Today. Yeah, I'll probably switch over to USA Today so that we can use their feed. So let me see here what other stuff I have here. We still got there you go. We still got the least fade there, so I guess I need to use it for a transition. Yep, let me see. You got a transition feed there, at least a transition feed. There's an episode of Frasier where Frasier and his brother go to take classes at a local college, and they spot a desk, and Frasier says, "This must have belonged to Ozzy," and apparently he rules. That is funny. Funny. Let me see something here with this. There we go. Does that work? There we go, that works. Gets everything nice and in frame. Yeah, I'm using this other program where it actually ends up, I'm able to do the highlighting of the comments and everything just like I would in StreamYard. But of course, I'm still not able to have any freaking guests, which I wish I was able to do on this program, but you know, you can't have everything, I guess. Gives you some versatility, but not all. Well, good morning, Mr. Kitty. Is it time for you to wake up too? No, go back to sleep. You shouldn't be up at this hour now. You don't have to be up at this hour, my mouse. I loved it when the first time I watched Little Nicky and I see just bite a bat's head off of the movie. I didn't expect it. It was a pretty great one. Pretty great cameo. I think I had seen somebody like put something up on a they had put something up on I think it was a comment on one of the other pages, something like that. They're like, you know, saying, you know, won't say the person's words in the movie, you know, for whatever, in case YouTube decides to get all funky. But they were like saying Ozzy put a pineapple up his ass when you get there. I saw a lot of dust in high school. That's that Ozzy rules from 1980 to 84. These people were so patient. So I was hoping that there was going to be, you know, better feeds, but like I said, I was trying to go through my cable provider, and every time I would go through my cable provider and I went ahead and I tried to go through OBS, excuse me, it blacked out. So obviously Spectrum.net is onto the whole people trying to stream their shit. Some channels, not all channels, but But it seemed like CNN, some of the main channels, it's like they would block out as soon as you like turn around and you ran it through OBS. It's like, nope. Although, excuse me, you can run it through StreamYard pretty fine, but StreamYard's been kind of wonky lately. StreamYard's been doing this thing where it's like it slows down, it speeds up, it slows down, it speeds up. It's been really, really wonky. It's been unreliable. The others didn't like it. Speaking of the desks. Seriously, this isn't a concert, no respect from some people. You know, I understand that. It's supposed to be, a time of mourning, it's a funeral procession, But I don't think Ozzy wanted that though, I think he had said something to the extent that he wanted, people to celebrate, not to mourn. I'd also had some idiot at work who had turned around and told me, well, it was an assisted suicide. He went to Switzerland and all this different shit. And I was like, no, that was not proven. It was said, it was tossed back and forth by him and Sharon, but that was not said. That's what happened, Not that we would ever get the straight story or it's any of our fucking business, but, But yeah, I was like, I just told the person, don't put that out to the universe, okay? Just don't. Nope, stop, Before I transitioned, I always had natural long hair. I went to a Christian school from the 4th grade. And the pastor told me that he would give me detention every day my hair was long. There we go. I told him Jesus had long hair, got detention for saying that. I have CNBC YouTube streaming. It's the same feed. This one actually is DRM. So I don't know. Maybe there's some of these companies are sharing streams, or maybe there's some of these streams are piggybacking off of other people's streams like I am. I don't know. Could be people sharing streams. I think there is a thing up in Hollywood right now too. At this out there, fucking insane. On the Walk of Fame and his star. I was gonna go ahead and get a live feed of that and put it up in the corner, but I was like, nothing too exciting going there. Freaking Hollywood people, how that goes. Playing that's what the song Hair said. Excuse me. I'm not usually up to being up this early. I mean, I get up like 5:36-ish, for work. But this is a little bit early, especially like when I'm on, day off. And usually I'm sawing logs right now. Sawing logs. Yeah, but I was like, oh, why would I get up and watch it? So, should I live stream and do a thing? It's like, why not? I don't think anybody else is going to, That was the other thing I was worried about too, was that there was going to be people playing freaking music, and that would end up getting my feed shut down or whatever, but This is I Hear Paranoid. That is just absolutely amazing. The thing that I really, really love, though, is that Birmingham is so proud of him being from there. The whole city is, like, into it, After the 4th grade, I went back to public school so that I could grow my hair long again. Because going to that school was my idea, so I had the freedom to go back to public schools. Cool. My hair is on my waist bone now. Sweet. Okay, now that guy is probably some kind of big whoop-de-woo. Must be the reason why he has that thing around his shoulders, I'm assuming. I'm just assuming. My mom took me out of public and put me into Catholic school. It felt like military school. I remember the other live stream I was watching this, and this one is by far way better. Are you talking about the feed coming in? Yeah, I mean, this feed is pretty decent. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do about, like, when the actual procession comes along. That's the thing I'm curious about. Is like, you know, I hope it's not just one stationary camera they're going to use, and that's going to be it. You know, we're just going to, like, oh, see him go by, you know, but... None told me to stop wearing devil's paint on my nails. Stop wearing red devil's paint on my nails. There are people from like all over the world out there right now. That is like crazy. I just say that because I saw, of course, you know, Batman, but no, they were saying there was a lot of travel into the country. The only positive about going to Christian school was learning about God and learning how to play the drums and piano. Yes, that is the Black Sabbath Bridge. They actually have a 24/7 webcam, live cam, that is actually focused and fixed on it. So, but I think that's the cam that was going to be doing the. That was the only live feed they were talking about. So, but I was like, no, there's going to have to be definitely. I was like, because I know Fox News is doing one and, you know, stuff like that, but. You know what's like so funny is that I have like, I don't know how many different coffee mugs. I mean, I have a lot. But this is like my absolute favorite coffee mug, my Ouija board one. And it's like funny because I know one of these days it's gonna fall and break or something because I'm a very clumsy person. And it's like every year when I go to Spirit Halloween, because that's every year at Spirit Halloween, that's when I stock up on my coffee mugs. You know, get my, you know, like Lisa has her graphic tees. I have my graphic coffee mugs. You know, so that's usually when I stock up. Is when Spirit Halloween comes around every year. And every year they do end up having these. I always tell myself I should buy another one. I should buy another one. I should buy another one. I think this year I'm going to buy one or two and put them away. Hoarder mentality. Just in case I end up breaking one. Most definitely. I always tell myself I should get some, like, some rock mugs, you know. But, you know. That is crazy. So many people from all walks of life. I was thinking, I don't know if I get away with it. I was going to do a stream later on today, maybe. Because it's one of those things where I could do a stream and I could get away with it. Where I don't possibly have to be there on Twitch. Because I have the whole 9 hours of the Back to the Beginning show. I have the full 9 hours. I was thinking of like playing the full 9 hours, just going ahead and letting it run. I don't know if there'd be anybody who'd want to see that. But if you do want to see that, I am over at Twitch on at Dusty Spins 50. And I might possibly let that run later on today and just go ahead and check in and out. So, checking out on what people are doing. For those who didn't get a chance to see the whole live stream, you know, because they were charging like $30, I think, for the live stream. Oh, and I scored a couple noodles and they let me drink Pepsi. Didn't Hulk Hogan also die on the same week? Like 2 legends in 1 week is crazy. Yes, they both passed away in the same week. Tommy, yes, so sad. Yes, Malcolm Jamal Warner. He was 53 and he drowned. At first, you know, the first thing that my mind went to was I was thinking, oh, well, was it drugs or something of that sort? But he was a health nut. He was very healthy. I think the thing is that I think I think the undercurrent took him out, you know, because it can happen. I mean, the ocean is fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Good morning, Jen. Good morning, Mrs. B-Sides. And then Pauline said, hi, Jalai. How are you doing today, Jalai? Yeah, so I think the undercurrent, like, just took him crazy. Because, I mean, he wasn't on drugs or anything. I mean, he was a very healthy guy. Also, very responsible, too. Very responsible with his money and stuff. He made a lot of good investments. He did well for himself. You know, usually most child actors, you know, they have a story. You know, unfortunately, a lot of them have a story. You know, they're broke and whatever else. So, you know. Zeb, how you doing, Zeb? Welcome in from Norway. He said, I wonder how it was when people found out Kurt Cobain was. I was alive. It was freaking insane. And the thing that was so insane about it, Tommy, is that we lost them all in a short span of time. We lost like a lot of them in a short span of time. You know, talk about going in 3s. They were going in like 4s and 5s. You know, the 90s was a crazy time. Ocean's not for swimming. I don't think so. I'm not a ocean person. You know, I go out a little bit far. I go out a certain, you know, amount of feet in. That's about it. You know, I get my feet wet. That's about it. Zebe said, good morning, Paulina. I'm amazed Ozzy lived. Well, 76. I get, yeah, 76 is it's a good stretch. Being everything that he went through, yes, that was crazy. That he lived to 76, that's, yeah, it's quite an achievement. Ozzy had 9 lives like a cat, gathered in their masses, just like witches in black masses. You can't fight the sea. No, it's just, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's like, you know, we had known for years, let's be honest, we had known for years that he was like, you know, he had one foot in the grave, the other on a banana peel for the longest time. We know that. But still, it's just, when my daughter came in and told me, my daughter was the first one to tell me, I was like, what are you talking, what? No. I was still shocked, you know, especially after being that he had that, you know, farewell concert 2 weeks ago, you know, so I was kind of like, you fucking with me? Talk about the universe, like, the universe being crazy like that, you know? So I was like, no. She's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, Dad, he's gone. And it was kind of weird because, like, you know, I was a pretty big Ozzy fan, you know? Not probably as much as I am about other bands, but I really, really do like Ozzy. I do like Black Sabbath a lot. But it was just weird. It's like, I went through this whole, like, weird trip where I was like, wow, I can't imagine. And I think it's pretty cliche. Some people mostly say it. A lot of people say it. I was like, I can't imagine a world without Ozzy in it. I've never been in a world without Ozzy in it. My whole life, Ozzy's been a constant, so it's kind of weird, Who's this Youngblood jerk? I've never heard of him until now. He's a younger kid. We got to be accepting of the younger kids there, Zeb. But he was one of those kids that, Ozzy took under his wing, Ozzy sees him as the future. Kind of like the same way he did with Marilyn Manson. Other people, it's just other people have been fuck ups and haven't gone anywhere. Or they have gone so far or whatever, but yeah, so Youngblood's one of the young kids. One of the young kids. I hate when you accidentally swallow salt water and you have to cough it out. Then I get scared that I'll die from accidentally swallowing salt water because I'm pretty sure it can kill you if you do. I think with salt water, I think that I don't think it, well, I don't know if it's thick enough to kill you where you couldn't swallow it, but I know it'll dehydrate you. Like you're standing on a raft or some shit. I know that's definite. Oh, look at that kid sitting up on the freaking fence with the red hair. He looks like total 70s. He is like straight out of the movie Dazed and Confused. I wonder how many people like just traveled to Birmingham. I mean, how big is Birmingham? I mean, I'm surprised we don't have any of our UK people on here stopping by, but yeah, I'm kind of curious. If any of our UK people are out there, like, how big is Birmingham? I mean, not that the people in the VC that are in the UK could give who. It's too fucking early. This coffee isn't going down quick enough. Not like all of our friends in the UK VC probably would be able to compare it to American towns unless they've been to America. Tell us like what the comparison to Birmingham would be like. Is it a Chicago, or is it a I don't know. Talking out my ass here. Let me see. I'm surprised all the members of ACDC. Well, knock on wood now that you said that. Knock on wood. They've lost a couple of members though. I mean, they lost. Well, of course, back in the day, Bon Scott. They lost him like way before they even got on a roll. What was the name of the other one? Was it Malcolm? I want to say they lost. I think it was like Malcolm they lost, maybe. I think there are like 5 different live videos of this event. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I knew there was going to be a lot of people doing it, but I just figured, I'm going to be watching it anyway, so I figured, why don't I just go ahead and, like, do a stream. If people want to come in and chat or whatever, that's cool, and stuff. This is the best. You mean my stream? Am I doing good today? Well, thank you, Zab. Tell me, 2 members of ACDC are gone. Paul's got Malcolm. Yeah, that's what I thought. Malcolm. Yeah, Malcolm. Malcolm was about what? It's been almost like close to 10 years, hasn't it? Somewhere around there. I don't have Lisa, my fact checker, here. She's sleeping. She's doing me. She's like, me. I'm assuming she farts in her sleep a lot. So. Okay. Ooh, yeah. Yep, they lost 2 members. Good morning, Mau. Well, I mean, for the most part, the main members, yeah, are alive. You know, Angus. You know, they're alive. So that's probably the reason why. But I think I think, well, my age group. You know, what are we? Gen Z? They call us Gen Z. I always get confused between Gen Z, Gen X, blah blah, whatever. Are we Gen Z? I think, I don't know. It's gonna be rough for us. We're gonna start losing a lot of our icons. I mean, it's got to be rough, I think, for people that are older, because I mean, same thing with them. You know, people who are in their 70s and stuff like that. They've got to be probably losing their like icons left and right. It's got to be really really hard, I think. Nowadays, basically, which bands have all original members still alive? There's not. I mean, for most of the bands you hear about them talk about in the VC, you know, yeah, there's people dropping off like flies. Dropping off like flies. What the hell is that? I think it's time for a new Keurig. Because my Keurig is doing this thing where it's letting I'm getting freaking coffee grounds. I've had it for a few years, so I was sad when well, I mean, the thing that was so sad about Dimebag dying is that he was like, you know, it wasn't exactly natural death, you know, he was murdered, so. Gone before his time. And Joey from Slipknot. A lot of those guys, I mean, it's like, a lot of them, it's the drugs, you know. They just, no self-control, you know. But I think the thing is that, you know, this is the thing that I don't understand is like we need having like, you know, these rock stars stuff like that who are they're so disciplined in learning, crafting, you know, learning their art, you know, and honing their skill. But every aspect of their life, other aspect of their life is fucked up. It makes no sense. You know, it's just like, to me, it makes no sense. It's like they're so focused and so skilled and so, you know, honed on, you know, getting the skill, and then they just piss it away. It boggles my mind. R.E.M. and Talking Heads have all original members alive. Well, yes, but they're more, I guess you consider more recent. We were Gen X. Now, see, there you go, Gen X. I just can't remember X. Some boys like Gen X, Gen Z, Gen W, whatever. So there you go, Gen X. Besides, I think we're close to the same age, right? Yeah, I'm 53. So I think you're like, what, 10 years younger than me? See how smooth I did that? Beetle Babe said, switch to Associated Press feed. They have the band playing in the motorcade on its way down the street. Okay, I will do that actually, because I was wondering if there was a better one. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. I'll be right back. I'll let you look at Lisa for a little bit. It is a much better feed. And welcome, Beetle Babe. Thank you for the advice. Beetle Babe, how you feeling? 59. I thought you were younger. $54, but bless you. See, you're still young, just like me. I love Roxy music since the 80s. Beetle Babe, still not great, but slowly getting there. Well, what actually happened, Beetle Babe? I had heard I had seen something where they said that you're not feeling well, but me, it's like I don't pry into people's business. We'd be glad to hear it. Yeah, this is way better. Also because I'm impatient, I like when stuff is actually going on. Yeah, exactly. Drinking from the garden hose and being latchkey kids didn't kill me though. Didn't kill us. Or as we used to say in Spanish, like drink from the manguera, which was the hose. My Square X through 2008. Oh, XTC has that. Now, the thing I'm curious about is, I guess that so is where they say, we're not going to know where the funeral procession is going. I guess, it's a private funeral, because I was like wondering, where are they going, actually? Bell just made us tougher. Folks underestimate kid powers these days. Yeah, just we didn't have clean bottled waters that we could buy at the store. That's what I was saying. It's like we didn't have like that, all that, where it's like, we had to have like, our water had to have a certain amount of this and a certain amount of that, and da-da-da-da. Well, it's kind of like, when you have kids. Me, I have 3 kids. So, when we had the first kid, we were completely so anal and crazy about everything. We read all the books, everything like that. We read all kinds of books, all kinds of shit, how to take care of the kids. And then by the time we got to the, down just a bit. By the time we got to the second kid, or the third kid, it's like, we didn't care. We were like flinging them over nowhere. CNBC feed is better. Okay, let me switch. I'll switch over to that in a little bit. Let me go ahead and stick with this one a little bit because I think it's about to come by again. Hose water honestly tastes better than any other water unless you live somewhere with that iron tasting water. Basically what I thought was just an urgent care was turned to an ER and admission situation long story. Damn. Here in Norway, the tap water is perfectly drinkable. He says I used to take a fork and pitch it in the hot dog. Were you the one who had, like, your grandmother had like a special fork for that, In the store for dinner. Is the band I think the band's walking ahead of him, aren't they? They're in front of him? Yep, they are. Okay, yeah, this is what... Oh, look at that. Yeah, because I remember they were saying they were going to stop at the bridge. That they were actually going to stop. Oh, poor Sharon. Oh, there's Amy and Lewis. Oh my gosh, she looks so little now. I just like, I just think it's like so crazy that Jack became like, he's like the, you know, he really like stood up and he became like the patriarch of the family. I know, that's the first thing that I was like, and I was really like that, you know, like I said, these are celebrities. I really don't follow celebrity death too much. But as soon as I found out that he was dead, that was another thing. I was like, oh, poor Sharon, she must be so lost. It's like, I don't know these people, of course, you know, they're celebrities, whatever, but, you know, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, she must be so lost. Those are Ozzy's sisters, too. It's almost like, what? Yeah, for Birmingham, it is. I think he's like, well, no, wait, isn't Judas Priest from Birmingham also? Yeah, he had sisters, Bill. Royal funeral for the Dark Prince. Yeah, Jackson's got to keep it together. He's got to keep it together for all of them. Yes, he would, Zeb. This was the, I mean, one of the main things he said, you know, when he came to his funeral. He said he wanted to be a celebration. He didn't want people mourning. He didn't want people crying. You know, but people were, I mean, people say that, but Ozzy had a bunch of siblings. I mean, the main ones I know about are the sisters. I think the sisters are the main ones that actually end up talking. That she ended up hearing from, so. Yeah, he had brothers too. Well, God, he was like 76. I mean, was he the oldest or? That's just wow. It still is like not sinking in. It's like crazy. Is that purple velvet over his? over his coffin, or are those flowers? Purple flowers. Well, I think he's going to be around for a little while. I think Jonathan Davis, you know, if he had told me that maybe 10 years ago, I probably would have like said, oh, okay, maybe he might be, on his way out. But no, I think Jonathan Davis is taking better care of themselves nowadays. Not sure about the ages. Only know there were 6 kids total, just like with Ozzy himself, counting the adopted one. Kids, flowers. I wonder if Sharon and the family stopped at the bridge because they were like, that's the only glimpse you're going to get of us at this time. So I'm wondering if that's what that was actually about. Was like, this is the only glimpse you're going to get of us. Paparazzi, take your pics. Have some respect other than that, I know Ozzy grew up poor, so he was humble. My favorite Ozzy moment was in 2001. He got to meet his idol Bill Paul McCartney at the Howard Stern show. He was on Cloud 9. He did say the Bill started all for him. Let me see. Thanks for saying that. Now I'm not paranoid about him dying anytime soon. I wake up one day with everyone telling me he died. Yeah, but then again, you never know. Life is a precious, fragile thing. Not to pee in your Cheerios, but yeah. Spring Hill Jim, how are you doing? Welcome. I think this procession, the funeral procession, isn't going to be that long, because I'm assuming that Birmingham is not that big of a city. I'm really assuming it's not that big of a town. So I think maybe they have like a main street that's not that big of a stretch. So... but I could be wrong. Like I said, I've never been there myself. I could be wrong. Which I was hoping actually, Spring Hill Jen, maybe you, or like I said, some people in UKVC can kind of give us like a, an idea of like maybe if you know how big Birmingham is, in comparison to an American city, so us Yanks would understand. So. When do you think it'll end? I have no idea. Because as far as I know, this procession is supposed to be on its way to the actual funeral, so... Birmingham is a metropolitan city. It depends how many cameramen they have on the scene. Well, this is Associated Press. I'm assuming the Associated Press will have more than a few. I'm pretty sure they'll probably have like more than, more than just a few along the route. Because so far they've had what, like two different switchovers on camera. Yeah, this guy's a politician. You can tell right away. They have at least 3 angles they've gone between on the route. People are going to be visiting Ozzy's grave for years and years to come. He's being buried in the grounds behind his UK home, so I doubt that. Oh, okay. So then, yeah. It probably is going to be a very, very, very private, private funeral. Then, probably just immediate family. Um, are you talking about what was it? Was it? I want to say Buckinghamshire. Buckinghamshire is where his home. Is that where his home was? Buckinghamshire, I think, UK. Not Birmingham. I don't think he lives in Birmingham. It's in Buckinghamshire, unless he's like got a home in Birmingham. The man had multiple homes, so. I know that people were leaving flowers at his star on the Walk of Fame here in LA, in Hollywood. I don't know if anyone was going to the old house and leaving stuff there. I don't know who owns the old Osborne house. I know that like after the Osbournes sold it to Christina Aguilera and her husband. Christina Aguilera and her husband divorced and sold the house. And then I don't know who ended up with it after that. But they said that the last people to have bought it were under something called Brat Pack something LLC. So they think it might have been someone from the Brat Pack. But I'm like thinking, why would you call your company Brat Pack LLC? It makes no sense. Excuse me. I first heard of his death on the Irish Times early in the morning. Buckinghamshire, there you go. Yes, I didn't know if he had a home both in Buckinghamshire and Birmingham. You know. Hey, Walrus Gumboot. German Events did a video in front of the TV show house the other day. Yeah, and I didn't see anything. It didn't look like there was anything out front. I think everybody was probably leaving all their stuff at the star on the Walk of Fame, so. Not that close after this procession will take a bit. Yeah, because I know the house is on Doheny. So, the way that I always got up there, when I would go past the house, you end up taking, when you go to Sunset Boulevard, when you go down Sunset Boulevard, there's a famous liquor store. It's on the corner of Sunset Boulevard and Doheny. It's called Gil Turner's. And I remember the liquor store because when you would walk in it, it had pictures all along the walls of like all these rock stars who had gone in there and bought booze or whatever else. And I mean, everybody and their mother had been in there. So, when you got there, you would go ahead and you would turn right and you would go up Doheny. And I think it was about maybe a mile up Doheny. And then the Osborne house would end up being on your left-hand side. So they were like right up the hill from Sunset. So when you were watching the Osbournes and you saw like Jack and Kelly were going down to, Sunset Boulevard, hanging out at the Roxy and all that stuff. Yeah, they were literally up the hill, almost to the point where if they really wanted to, they could just walk home, Probably won't be filmed the whole way. I'm assuming probably not. I wonder if the house was haunted. I think maybe the house that they live in now might be, because I mean it has a long history. I was looking up a little something on it, and it's like a estate. There you go. My parents were watching the Osbournes the other day, and I had to sit there with. What did I do here? Hold on a moment. Okay, I had to adjust. There you go. My parents were watching the Osbournes the other day, and I had to sit there with them, watch it too. It's such a good and funny show. Let's see. You actually can go to YouTube, Paulina. There on YouTube, there's a channel called The Osbournes, and they have everything there. And not only that, they compile it into like, you can watch each of the episodes individually. Well, there you go, Beautiful Babe said it right there. You watch each of the episodes individually, or they actually package them where you can watch a whole season and binge watch it, and just leave it running in the background or whatever, and it plays the whole season. Plus, also they have the basement tapes. The basement tapes were freaking awesome. It was when the Osbournes went ahead and revisited. Okay, well, I guess that's going to be it for this one. I guess they're replaying it. Maybe we'll get to see some of the replay. Yeah, so yeah, the Osbournes. What they do is they have this thing called the Basement Tapes, where they revisited it, like maybe a few years ago, and they had them rewatching the episodes, and Jack and like watching Jack and Kelly like cringe, at their teenage selves. Totally hilarious. Totally hilarious. I think I saw an HBO Max or something. Yeah, everything unedited. No censorship is on YouTube. Tom, my favorite episode was noisy neighbors playing tennis. I thought the noisy neighbors who were playing all the awful like techno music was one of the better ones. Let me see. They just started releasing them since shortly before he passed. Yeah, I mean the channel like was really starting to take off. Awesome. Thanks, Jennifer. They had previously been paywalled on Osborne Media House. Yeah, Jack was like, he's smart when it comes to the media. Most definitely. He was keeping a strangle on it. The other one that was really good too was Jack and Ozzy's World Tour. That was a really good show too. I really used to like that show. They've been showing some of the basement. Yeah, the basement tapes. That's what I am. I think the basement tapes are from 2 years ago when they were doing the podcast. It's okay. I really regretted they stopped doing the podcast. I thought the podcast was pretty awesome. The podcast was pretty entertaining. I know I'm way too invested in this family. I have been since my teens. We all were. I mean, we all were. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and we felt like we knew them. Good night, Paulina. Sweet dreams. Said bye, Paulina. Yeah, it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it feels like we knew them, because, we basically saw Jack and Kelly grow. Well, it was only a few years we saw, but, kind of saw them grow up, and then it's like you see them from then to now. They're like night and day, like we really, I mean, let's be honest. Was that on our bingo card that they were going to be the way they are now? That they were going to have kids and they were going to be responsible adults and, I really didn't think so. Uh-oh. Lease is up. Everybody run. I think they stopped the podcast when Ozzy started getting too sick to do them. I think we all said it was coming to the podcast stop so abruptly. For me, it's like I said, like I said earlier. Excuse me. Like I said earlier, I was like, we knew it was coming. We had known it was coming. But when it happened, it was still like, what? What? No. Not so soon. I mean, the timing was just off to me. I mean, okay, no, I can't say the timing was off. I mean, there probably could not have been, you couldn't have like scripted it better. He did his final show and then a couple weeks later he was gone. So I really, I really don't think he could have scripted that better. It was like a movie, basically. Ozzy loved his fans. Yes, he did. Beatle Babe Jack, I figured we'd get it together. Kelly surprised me. Kelly really surprised me. That was really surprising. I've been up since 3 in the afternoon yesterday. I think the reason why I'm still up is the Aussie lemonade monster, but I only had 4 sips. That could end up doing it. Gotta be careful of those monster drinks. Gotta be careful of those freaking energy drinks. I used to drink a lot of energy drinks probably about 15 years ago. I stopped. I started getting heart palpitations and shit. Lisa said his death was so sudden. Let's take a look and see if anybody else has got any other feeds of anything special or anything of... I don't think there's too much else going on right now. Yeah, I don't think there's too much going on. Okay, AP is still the same. Sky News the same. Looks like we're the most happening thing on right now, people. It really was. I don't think they even. Everyone order an awesome burrito. I had a burrito the other day. I had a Chipotle burrito in his honor. But, Ozzy doesn't have to pass order for me to eat a burrito. Chipotle burrito, probably, because I know that Ozzy was enamored with Chipotle burritos. I remember watching one of the basement tapes where they were talking about how he had a card. They give certain people like lifetime cards for Chipotle, and that he had one, and that he had lost it for the longest time and couldn't find it, so he didn't use it. But now I guess they switched companies. I guess they're owned by McDonald's. He said. So like he said, they don't honor it anymore. And he's like, Jack was like, you need to like get in touch with those people because lifetime means lifetime. So don't let them bullshit. Like in other words, like lifetime means lifetime. Get a hold of them. I love that everyone is collectively remembering about the burritos. Yes, yes. The burritos were awesome. And it was only one episode, where he was like, obsessed with the burritos. It's like he was buying them like 2 or 3 at a time. And he's asking everybody in the episode, everybody, it's like, do you want a burrito? Do you want a burrito? Do you want a burrito? Like, there's a scene where he's like clearing out, he's doing like a ear waxing, like the candle thing to, I think it's, or no, he's putting eardrops in Sharon Osbourne's dad's ear. And he's like, oh, that feels much better. And he's all, do you want a burrito? It was like funny. He just keeps on like, do you want a burrito? Do you want a burrito? Yeah, energy drinks give you energy. Cleo Lane also died. And heart pains, yes. She did. I heard about Cleo yesterday. I had King Tacos close enough. No, Chipotle is a different monster. It is a different beast. It was like his carrot cake thing, too. Yes. Well, he went on kicks, is what it was. He would go on these kicks, where it was like, he would get into one thing, and that would be his thing. Yeah, someone figured out his actual order. Yeah, I think his burrito was chicken, wasn't it? It was like a chicken burrito or something like that sort, I think. Okay, is AP done? I think AP's done too. I'm trying to drink less Coca-Cola. 20 years ago, I could do 6 to 7 liters a day. Now it's max 1.5. Oh, yep, I think they're done. They are done for the evening. I love that they included that since it was so human. Mm-hmm. A lot of musicians passed over the last week. Tell me about it. DJ Dusty, go. I don't think I have a DJ set in me at 5:38 in the morning. Yep, AP is done. Ozzy will be the godfather of heavy metal. I'm assuming you mean heavy metal. There you go. Yep, well, there you go. Metal. Now what? Well, that is it for me for now. Yeah, it is actually 5:30 in the morning. I'm an old fart, so I'm probably just going to stay up. I already had a cup of coffee, so it's like I'm already going to stay up. But I got a couple of things I got to do anyways. Got some stuff I should do. One of the funniest episodes is when Kelly has a doctor appointment and Ozzy offer to go for her. It's 8:40 right now. 8:40. Okay. Well, where are you at actually? You'll see 5, 6. East Coast. East Coast. Yeah, for us it's 5:40 in the morning. Yeah, 5:39 a.m. here. So 14. Okay, that's military time. There you go, Zeb. Wait, what? I'm a mile from the beach, and I lived. We were supposed to have a big old tsunami. Yeah. When the vagina doctor calls, just tell him to fuck off. That was what he's like. Oh, maybe I could go to the vagina doctor. He says, I feel like a cunt. Pretty hilarious. 5:39 here. All right, you guys. Well, I just wanted to go ahead and watch the procession with you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and jump off now. Maybe later on tonight we could end up doing a panel. I don't know if Lisa's up for it. We could do a panel or something of that sort, and we can hang out and talk. Maybe later on this afternoon, what I'm thinking about doing is I might, like I said, if nobody got a chance to see the 9-hour live stream, I'm thinking of running it. I really had thought about running it. So, if whoever didn't get a chance to see it, I don't know how long they're going to let me run it. I mean, I know that Twitch will let me run it. I'm not going to even attempt to do it on freaking YouTube, because YouTube will be like, nope, fuck you. No, I don't think so. So, but, yeah. So I will talk to all of you guys later. Thanks for being here, Lisa, Loser List, Beetle Babe, Paulina, Zeb. Get some sleep, old fart. What, you talking to yourself? Bye, Tommy. I'll turn my notifications on if you live stream later. Bye. Okay, so remember, I am at Dusty Spins 50 on Twitch. I'll end up probably putting something on my posts if I decide to do something like that, But if not, we'll probably end up doing a panel tonight. Because I pay for this. And you know what? I'm not even freaking, well, yeah, I pay for StreamYard. So I'll say I'm not even on StreamYard right now. Right now I'm using OBS. Go figure. Go figure. Say haha, night. Good night, Belle. Beans and disease peeps. Okay. I don't know what that means, but. Oh, also thank you for being here, Jen. Thank you for being here, Jen. Besides, everybody that was here. It was pretty awesome. So, I think I'm going to, well, can I take a nap? I don't know. Or should I just get out some eggs, some toast, and just